So please, a very big welcome for Mr. Adam Yenser.
All right, you guys made it. How about a big hand for all the comics you guys saw tonight? So this seems like a really good way to end the weekend. I spend most of my weekend sitting at home watching trashy reality shows. Like, I've been really into that show Hoarders. I have them on tape stacked all over my house. The other show I've been watching lately is called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. It's a series on the Discovery Channel about these girls who are so overweight that they don't even know they're going to have a baby. Until one day they're sitting in the bathroom and they go number 3. Which is a baby. I was actually driving recently and I saw this pro-life billboard that said babies get hiccups even before they're born. Now, I don't support abortion, but I bet a visit to the clinic would scare those hiccups away. But I can't really make fun of trashy reality shows because I used to work for the Maury Povich show. Some of you guys have seen it or been on it. And I had to take calls from people who wanted to be in the studio audience, but they weren't much better than the guests. Like, I got a call from this one woman, and she goes, "Hi, I'd like to come see Maury, but I live in Dallas. Is New York far from Dallas?" I was like, "Go to your window, I'm waving." I always liked living back in New York City, but the one thing about my apartment that always annoyed me is there's this locksmith in my neighborhood, and literally every day he'd leave a business card outside my door to advertise his locksmith service. I just always thought it'd make a better ad if he left them inside on my pillow. I do like living in Los Angeles now because I live in the Valley, which isn't quite as sleazy as Hollywood. Like, whenever I'm out in Hollywood at night, I see prostitutes on every corner, but we don't really have that in the Valley because they put up all these no-ho signs. But I am still adjusting to how politically correct everyone is on the West Coast. Like, in LA, you guys have Thai Town and Koreatown and Filipino Town and Little Tokyo. In New York, we just called all that stuff Chinatown. I actually saw some Chinese tourists in Hollywood the other day, and it was kind of weird because even though the swine flu scare has been over for like a year, they were still wearing those swine flu masks, which was a scary sight for a guy who grew up playing Mortal Kombat. But I do see people from all over the world out here. Like, I was up at Universal Studios last week, and I even saw a tourist who looked like he was from Africa, admiring the giant fountain they have out front. And I thought, how would you even explain a giant fountain to someone from Africa? Like, here in America, we have so much clean, drinkable water that sometimes we just use the extra to decorate. And then what we do is we take our spare change. Which is the money we have left over after buying everything we could possibly want. And we just throw it in the fountain. And make a wish for a better life. And if there's ducks in the fountain, we'll throw in the bread we have left over. After eating everything we could possibly eat. But speaking of eating too much, I had dinner at Applebees earlier tonight. I don't know how many of you guys have eaten at Applebees lately, but they have basically gotten to the point where they're just naming their food after the type of diarrhea it causes. Like, yes, I will start with the sliders and the poppers. To drink, I'll have the mudslide. And for dessert, the chocolate meltdown. So I'm at that age where a lot of the guys I went to high school with have started to get married, and one thing I can say is they're definitely not marrying trophy wives. Like, instead of trophies, these girls are more like, you know how sometimes you'd get a ribbon just for participating? They're like consolation prize wives. I have been trying to meet people myself, though. I was out at a bar the other night and a cougar tried to pick me up, which isn't really my thing, but luckily I learned about cougar attacks in Boy Scouts. So I made a lot of noise and puffed my jacket up to look as big as possible. But before she left, she insisted on getting my number, and then she sent me a text message with one of those winking emoticons, which kind of concerned me because at her age, this could indicate a stroke. Or some sort of palsy. But I'm a pretty religious person. I'm a practicing Lutheran, which is basically a non-practicing Catholic. But I do go to church pretty regularly because I like when the pastor forgives you and tells you all of your sins have been instantly erased. Because the only other way to get that feeling is to delete the history on your web browser. And it can be fun going to church sometimes. Like, I was at church this morning. My pastor was giving the children's sermon where he talks to all the little kids in the congregation. And he goes, I'm sure you kids love going to Disneyland, but in the Bible, God tells us about a place that's even better than Disneyland. Do you know what it's called? This one kid yells, Legoland. So I guess he's going to hell. But I do think it's important to teach kids values when they're young like that. Like, I think a hamster is a good pet to get a little kid if you want to teach him responsibility. And then a week later, teach him about death. Because hamsters die no matter what. But I'm glad that the election season is over because that was getting pretty ugly for a while. Like, I saw in one of his recent speeches, Obama complained that his critics have been talking about him like a dog. But I don't think anyone's talking about Barack Obama like a dog. It's just that he's not as adorable as he was when we first got him. I didn't vote for Obama in the first place, but I did order one of those Obama coins that they advertised on TV. Because as any collector will tell you, a coin is worth a lot more when there's an obvious mistake on it. I hear a few tolerant, open-minded liberals booing another point of view. But no, even though I disagree with Obama, I don't like to hear these crazy and inappropriate comments that some people make. Like Senator Harry Reid once said, the reason Obama got elected is because he doesn't speak in a Negro dialect. Yeah, which I just found offensive and sort of confusing because all of my black friends are very intelligent and articulate. Like, as far as I can tell, a Negro dialect is just plain old regular English, spoken loudly during a movie. And this is always shocking when a Democrat makes comments like that because they're usually the ones labeling everyone else as bigots. Like, there's sort of this stereotype out there that all NASCAR fans are rednecks and bigots, which I don't really think is fair because I don't think NASCAR fans can help it. I mean, people who are into the cello are cellists, and people who are into gymnastics are gymnasts. So naturally, people who are into racing. But I guess one of the biggest political issues is still the economy, which I don't really understand that well. Like, I was discussing it with one of my friends the other day, and he goes, do you even know what the federal interest rate is? I was like, no, but my interest rate in hearing you explain it is 0. The other big issue is illegal immigration. So I actually came up with a trashy reality show that would help solve that problem. How it would work is each week we'd have an illegal immigrant and a child molester fight each other to the death. We call it Alien versus Predator. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Adam Yenser.